So here's my next book I want to review. It's called the Diatessaron of Tatian. And you may think, what on earth is a diatessaron, and who's Tatian? Well, let's have a look at the index. Let's have a look at the inside of the book. Tatian the Assyrian lived from 120 to 180, and he was a theologian of the 2nd century, so that's really early. And he was a pupil of Justin Martyr in Rome. And he combined all 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, into one narrative, so that he had one running story from the beginning of the Gospel to the end of the Gospel and made it into one book. And this became very popular. It was very popular in Syria. It was translated into Arabic. It was a very popular edition of the Gospels. Eventually, the Peshetti version of the 4 separate Gospels superseded it. But for a period of time, what Tatian did by putting the 4 Gospels together was a very successful way for people to access the 4 Gospels. And of course, this shows that right from an early age, the church only accepted the 4 Gospels. This is compiled from Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. There's nothing else in here. There's no strange Gospels, no other books in here. It's purely from the 4 Gospels. And this is what early Christians would have read. It was very popular in Syria, interestingly enough. And it does make you wonder if this was where some of the stories that Muhammad heard came from, whether they actually came from this book. Maybe this is when they thought of the Injil as one book. This is what they meant. The Diatessaron. That's a possibility. It's not outside the realms of possibility. So that's why it's very interesting. It's a very accessible book. You can get this for about £6 on Amazon. It's divided into about 55 sections, so you can read it a section at a time. And just under 2 months, you will have read all 4 Gospels. We don't have an early manuscript of it, but we do have a fragment from the 3rd century. But we don't have a full copy. So the full copies that this is taken from, the English version, are a lot later. But that doesn't really matter, It's not crucial. It's not. This doesn't supplant the Greek manuscripts we have of the New Testament, but it does show that the 4 Gospels were accepted from a very early time. What does diatessaron mean? Just for your information, diatessaron means made of. It's from Latin, and it basically means interval of a 4th, made of 4, basically made of 4. And of course, that's what it is. It's made of 4 Gospels. So I just thought I would share that with you. Another snippet of information. I was quite interested when I discovered this book, and that it was so early. Possibly 150, 160. This was first started to circulate. Okay, thank you very much. So I'm not sure what we'll look at next time, but I will find something.